Hello everyone and welcome to another video by Syfy Geek. Today I'm going to discuss my thoughts and opinions upon a Syfy channel original film by the name of Blast Vegas. This film stars an actor from Malcolm in the Middle, I believe, by the name of Frankie Muniz. And pretty much it's a very simple plot. We have some kids in Las Vegas partying, gambling, drinking, smoking pot, having a good time. Well, little do they know, they find a sword that is laying in the middle of the casino. One of them gets the bright idea to take this sword, stab it in the ground. It releases a curse upon the city of Las Vegas, Nevada, and tornadoes arise, a big storm comes, and now they have to find a way to get this sword out of the ground and stop the storm that's happening in the city of Las Vegas, Nevada. That's the gist of the Syfy channel original film by the name of Blast Vegas. Overall, my thoughts and opinions on Syfy's film known as Blast Vegas on the Syfy channel. I thought this film was okay, subpar at best, really. The reason I say that is because the film was extremely cliche at times, and overall it just didn't meet my expectations. I know, similar to what I said in my Sharknado review, I know that when you go into a sci-fi film, you can't expect it to be amazing. You can't expect it to be, great. Sometimes they do make really good films, but you kind of have to go into it with low expectations. You go in there and you may have a fun time, all in all. Well, the thing was with Blast Vegas was the film overall it kind of followed the classic disaster formula. Within the first 5 minutes of the film, we have, it sets the ground for the film, and after that, it's kind of just your standard disaster film. Nothing really stands out about it. I will say one of the decent things about the film is the overall premise or the concept of the film. Just, them having to, major spoilers coming up, them having to find out, what exactly, they have to find 3 certain objects in order to pull the sword up out of the ground, and only the true warrior, kind of like Thor, only Thor, from the Avengers, only Thor can pick up his hammer, that kind of thing. Only a certain someone, a special someone, can pick the sword up out of the ground and then touch the heavens, And like I said, the overall premise and concept is very interesting. The storm, or the tornado, hurricane, whatever it was, the storm was in a form of like a cobra or a snake or a python, a snake of some kind. And that was interesting. That was unique. The effects looked, I guess, decent. They looked, okay at times, I guess, for a film such as this. But overall, the film just was really cliche at times, especially towards the ending. There was some dialogue that was a little shifty on. Frankie Muniz, I will say, he is one of the upsides of the film. I watched Malcolm in the Middle a little bit when I was younger, but not too much, just reruns. I never really actually got invested into the series itself. Well, I have to say, Frankie Muniz's role, he's actually the main character in the Syfy channel original film by the name of Las Vegas, and I have to say, Frankie Muniz was actually pretty decent in this film. He brings this film up a few notches. His love interest in the film is a girl. Her character, I don't know the actress's name, but her girl character's name, his love interest is a girl by the name of Olive, and she was also another decent character that I liked her acting quite a bit, brings this film up another few notches. Another character that brings this film up even more notches is he's the guy that's singing. He's a real old man. He's the one that shows them the underground tunnels so they can get out of Las Vegas in the Syfy channel film called Blast Vegas. He's one that shows them the tunnels, and I liked his character. He had a nice, determined personality to them, giving them advice. A nice little, sentimental death scene. I mean, it didn't get me or anything like that, but there was an okay sentimental death scene towards him, towards, the end. And, it was a little cliche, but overall, that scene was somewhat decent because I like those 3 characters. Everyone else was kind of there just to die. I will say, the death scenes in this movie really aren't much of anything. This film is not very bloody. It doesn't have much blood. I wanted to see more of just people dying, blood falling off people. I wanted to see a lot of that, but I didn't see much of that. There were quite a few deaths, especially towards the beginning with the actual storm or the hurricane or tornado, whatever it is, with the actual storm picking people from the ground up into the air. And, so there's not really much blood scenes there, but there are death scenes, and I wanted to actually see some bloodshed and gore. So for me, being a gore hound, there wasn't enough blood in this movie, because that was one of my reasons to watch it, was to see people die, and there just wasn't enough people dying, I guess. There are several scenes in this movie that verged and spawned on the point of being extremely goofy, even more goofy than Sharknado itself. Sharknado tried to take itself somewhat seriously, and I think for the most part Sharknado succeeded except for that ending. Well, Las Vegas was goofy most of the film. The ending, I do like the scene where he holds up the sword and it's shocking. It's a nice, the concept was nice. It's a nice scene with Frankie Muniz. Does a decent job acting, but it gets a little cliche with their dialogue and them kissing, and the explosion. That's a little too much there. And overall, the film can be very cliche at times. There was also one other thing that I wasn't very fond of in the sci-fi original film by the name of Blast Vegas. That one thing was that many times throughout the film started to stray from its actual plot. The film is supposed to be about this big storm that comes across the city of Las Vegas, Nevada, and there were 2 or 3 times where it actually strayed away from that idea. There's one time where there's a CGI tiger that comes into the picture, and I was like, what does this tiger have to do with the actual story? It strayed away, it was distracting, it was annoying, and overall, I just wanted to see more of the storm itself, but I kept seeing that tiger come into the picture, and that was just very distracting to the overall plot. Then, towards the actual last 20 minutes of the film started to get a little better, and then went downhill again, because there was this man that tried to take the girl hostage by pointing a gun at both of the 2 main characters, both Olive and then Frankie Muniz's character, and that guy with a gun also, once again, just like the CGI tiger character, distracted from the plot again, and overall just made the film, not want to be watchable. The particular scenes in the Sci-Fi Channel film by the name of Las Vegas, the particular scenes that are really goofy was when the storm picked up the people. They're like screaming and yelling, their bodies are doing cartwheels, and those were the particular scenes that actually verged, that spawned on the point of being really goofy. Some of the death scenes were extremely goofy, and I couldn't take them quite seriously, and I think it's that this film tried to take itself very seriously, but overall, in the end, it ended up failing. Sharknado achieved in taking itself somewhat seriously while still being a somewhat fun film. Blast Vegas tried to make itself, take itself seriously, but in the end ended up being just a subpar, decent film. Overall, I'd probably give Blast Vegas, just to be generous, a 6.5 or a 7 out of 10. It's somewhat a fun film because of those 3 main actors I talked about, but that's about it. You have some ridiculous death scenes, and overall, the only reason I watched this to see what happened to the main characters, and the overall premise and concept is pretty interesting. That's my thoughts and opinions on the Sci-Fi Channel original film by the name of Blast Vegas. Once again, thanks for watching another video by Centipede Geek. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe to our page below, and I'll see you guys later with more videos by Centipede Geek.